Okay, so in this example, we're going to talk about this expression here, which comes up when talking about the deflection of beams. And so we want to factor this thing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the leading coefficient. Okay, now the leading coefficient is a perfect square. Okay, so but it has two pairs, right? So it's positive 9. So it could be either right? And then if you look at 28L squared, so again, you're going to have an L in both of them. Notice here you've got an X, an L, and then you got XL here. Okay, that tells me that it's going to be X and L factors. Okay, so now 28, well, what are the factors of 28? Well, this is positive, so the factors are either going to be both negative or both positive. Now, this is negative, so one other hint to look for is, even though this is not 1, you do know that the sum of the two products, the outside and inner products, must add up to a negative number, which means the larger product has to be negative. Okay? That's going to help us. So now what are the factors of 28? Well, they're both negative or both positive. And that's it. Now, just take the negatives. Right, so there's a lot of factors to check. Okay. So, how do we check to see if these are going to work? What we're going to do is we're going to take, so these are the outside ones, right? Okay, so these are the factors of the last one and the first ones. So we've got to come up with factors of those products. Or not factors of the products. We need to come up with factors that when we multiply them will give us the middle term of negative. So remember, we've got a negative 32, so that means the product, one of the products, remember when we multiply the inside and the outside terms, okay? So we know, just let's write it out. So we know we could have what? 1 and what? And 9. Or 3 and 3. But we have to figure out all the different combinations of having this scenario with all of these and this scenario with all of these. Okay? And that's going to be a headache for me. I mean, it's tedious, right? You could do it. It's possible. You have to go through and find out what the middle terms add up. But again, why would you want to do trial and error? So I don't want to do trial and error. So we're going to look at a couple of things here. I just want to figure out if I want to do it this way or not. Okay, so let's look at this. Now, here, we know we're going to have an X here, and we're going to have an L here, right? So we got to have X's. We know we're going to have an L. Okay, and so now it's a matter of just putting in the correct numbers. Okay? So that when we do the inside and outside, they're going to give us the correct numbers. Okay? And so in this case here, we want these numbers here or these numbers here to be such that when we multiply the inside and then multiply the outside, when we add those, we're going to get a negative 32. And so the answer turns out to be negative 2 and negative 14. Oops, wrong one. Okay. And again, verify it. 1x times 9x is 9x squared. This times this is going to give me a negative 14lx. And then the inside is going to give me a negative 18 LX plus, this is going to give me a positive, so it's going to be 28 L squared. And we got it. Okay, so that worked. So what we're going to do is we're going to start looking at the middle term more carefully and see if there's another way of doing this instead of trying to do it by trial and error. See you next time.